The Show Me the Money on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. You lucky ducks. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Guys, welcome to the Show Me the Money. This is our first official ep, besides our intro ep, that I hope you also listen to. We are your guide to gambling on the movies. We are your hosts, Nick the Father Turner,
Pat the Hat Stango,
Clayton Speech Kings Gumbert.
That's King Speech backwards, if everyone doesn't know. He's the king of the speeches. Guys, this is the show, and we are going to help you guys get rich on the Oscars. We have already started feeding the beast. We've made some big bets, some plus 2,000s here and there. No big deal. Let's talk about right up top about what lines are available this week. We still only have the big boys, Best Picture, Director, Best Actor, Best Actress on two different websites. And since this is such a complicated betting scenario, because you got to deal with all of these different websites, we have a master spreadsheet that I'm not exactly sure where it's going to live, but it's up, and it has the schedule of all of the award shows, and it has what websites you can bet on each award show on, and some insight from us, our locks, our suggestions, our betting suggestions. And that will be, I think, we'll put it up on the Patreon, before anything, just because we could put anything up there. We'll also have these videos of our recordings up there. We'll also have our show go up a day early on Patreon. And Patreon is kind of our big money tree. That's where we're getting money to bet on these things. So join us on the Patreon. There's going to be a lot more. Also, I have another spreadsheet that details every bet of mine, how much it costs, and how much I stand to win, totals, likely outcomes. I kind of went insane.
Nick, and that spreadsheet is offshore, right? That's where that spreadsheet lives.
You guys don't even have that spreadsheet because I didn't want to look like a psychopath.
Nick, do you think that our show already has the most spreadsheets of anything on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network? Do you think their college football show has half as many spreadsheets as we have going?
I don't. And I want people to know that I don't even know how to do spreadsheets, and Pat is the master.
Yes, but
I can add the math in the spreadsheets.
Yeah, I could take a column and add everything up, but at the bottom you've got a sum total. It's amazing.
At the bottom?
Yeah, at the bottom, it blows people away at parties. But we got a lot of spreadsheets going. We got a lot of information on our bets.
And I never talk about politics, but this is like when Trump and Hillary had their debate, and Hillary kept saying, "Go to the website. Go to the website." To get information.
22 Joe.
Go to the spreadsheet. Well,
we're all go to the spreadsheet here.
Here's the thing, though, as you mentioned at the top, Nick, right now to bet on the Oscars, unfortunately, you can't go to WynnBET, which is of course the greatest place of all time on the internet to bet on almost everything except. The Oscars is not on WynnBET yet. Write your senators, write your congressmen. Hopefully it'll get there someday. So we had to go to some other places. We're not going to say the names on the show, but everyone who listens to this is very smart. They could Google. They could find right now two websites that are taking bets on the Academy Awards. And I'm looking at one of them right now. Again, I won't say its name, but you could find it pretty easily. And the big thing about betting now is, again, we said this on our sort of like preview episode, but the odds makers do not know how to set these odds yet. These odds that you have now are going to be radically different when we get closer to the actual Golden Globes, People's Choice, well, not People's Choice, Golden Globes, SAG Awards, and the Oscars. I think almost everything that's a favorite now is going to be an underdog in 2 months. So this is a great chance to get in early with lines that are nowhere near where they should be.
Okay, so Pat,
Yes.
that being said, let's
Yes.
get into our entertainment betting news of the week. Do you
Okay,
want to
let's
lead us
do it.
off?
Sure. So I think something we should start off with is a award show that happened at the very end of November called the Gotham Awards. Now, this is akin to your indie spirits, except it's very local. It's a Northeast based award show. It's an indie movies award show, but I think it does a really good job of letting you know what the cool people who get to vote on these, what they are thinking. And that awards show happened the end of November. And here's something I'm going to throw out there right off the top, is that the actor who is up for supporting actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and we all know his name, we don't have to say it right now, but he played Data in the Goonies, and he played Short Round in the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom movie.
Kwan. I'll try it. Kiwi Kwan.
Great job, Clayton. That actor, he's been gone for a long time, and he made a huge comeback in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he just won the Gotham Award for supporting actor. And I gotta say, this to me is starting to make him a front runner, not just because he won, but guys, did you watch his speech at the Gotham Award show? Did you see this speech by the former Data from the Goonies?
Of course.
If this is your business and you're not watching that,
yeah.
God love you.
Of course I watched that speech because I am speech king, as we all know. And I'm going to grade these speeches, okay? That'll be my thing. Can I grade these speeches? Will that be? So that's my thing. And I am going to give this. And listen, this is setting the bar high because I know.
Actually, Clayton, can you tell us your needs for rating speeches, the categories, or what's the word
like
I'm
how the
looking
ratings
for?
will go?
Yeah. What different?
It's your. Oh, okay. So, well, it's going to be the rating system is going to be, A+, A-, B, all that, right? So we know
school.
That. We all know that's going to be like school. And I mean, I think it is like how genuine it is, how much it connects to the voting bodies, right? Emotionally, how much it will translate to a outside the industry crowd, right? I think this speech hit all those marks. And especially when we're in a world now where labor is a big issue, workers' rights, things like that. He starts his speech by saying, last year, I just wanted a job. And then he goes into what this movie meant to him. And I became emotional. I became emotional because really in this world that we live in, we need to have jobs. We need to work. That's the number one thing. But then if you can find something that is creatively fulfilling, that doesn't make you feel hollow at the end of the day, that's special. All right. When you're fighting the machine every day and you happen to get into a situation where it doesn't feel like the machine. And that's what this movie felt like for him. And I think he really just nails it. So I'm going to give this a solid A.
Wow.
He may have an A+ coming. He may have something stronger after this. But we're looking at a guy who could be given some great speeches. And he's going to be hanging around.
Wow. An A. And
right off the jump.
Right off the jump. Now, we talk about this a lot, that the speeches are huge. The speeches are like a football player scoring touchdowns. That's the win for them, is the speech, not just the win itself, but the great speech. And I think what was great about this speech too is he did leave you wanting more. It was only a few minutes. He didn't go out there and give a 15-minute monologue. He's saving something for when he starts to win the bigger awards, when he gets that Golden Globe, when he gets that SAG award, because you got to save something along the path to the Oscar. So I think this was huge. I think right now you can't bet on supporting actor for any of these upcoming award shows, but the second you can, I'm hoping that the odds makers don't understand that he's the favorite. I'm hoping that someone else comes out as the favorite, give it a Brendan Gleeson from Banshees of Inisherin or someone else, because we know this guy is the favorite.
Yeah, so
Well-
that's like why this speech kind of bummed me out, because he's Troy Kotzering too early.
Yeah, before
Like
we
Troy,
could.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're not. He's Troy Kotzering before we get even any public speeches.
Mhm.
And when those lines hit, this motherfucker is going to be a minus 250, and he's not going to be worth betting on.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, again, hopefully, because it's not like with football, it's not like with the NBA. These odds makers, they don't understand the sport of awards gambling yet.
Yes.
So we're hoping that they just think, Anthony Hopkins in Armageddon Time is actually the favorite, because they just know he's a big name. So hopefully Anthony Hopkins is the early favorite when the odds start coming out for supporting actor, and then
My God,
the
could you
former
imagine?
Data is an underdog, and we could get some smart money in there early. That's the hope. But
also,
I think,
if he comes out and he's minus 250, max it out anyway, because it's free money.
yeah. He's feel like and God, it's December, so we don't want to put slam doink crowns on anyone this early, but this guy is feeling like he's getting into slam doink territory.
Well, here's the
but
thing.
there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go.
We haven't seen half the movies.
Because people do love a comeback and things like that. But Jackie Earle Haley, I mean, he didn't win. And there's the Jackie Earle Haley effect that can happen.
Also, Mr. Florida State, Burt Reynolds.
Right.
Yeah, Burt
He
Reynolds did not win. I mean,
Sly Stallone for Creed, the original Creed. Everyone thought he was a comeback award winner for supporting actor. That didn't happen. I think
those are not equivocal, because those two were big, huge stars who burned a lot of bridges and stepped on a lot of toes on their way back to some semblance of respectability. Kiwi Kwan is a guy who has been sort of nowhere, and people have very fond feelings about him. I don't know if you're going to hear stories about him shitting on a glass table on top of a prostitute. That's not the kind of story you're going to hear, or him shooting a movie and people not allowed to look in his eyes. Like, those are the stories you're not going to hear about him. Right. And like you were saying, Pat, I hope in future speeches he can give us a little taste of what he had been up to in the past few years, and really go, by the time he wins, or hopefully wins, we get this full like memoir or autobiography of him through speeches. That's what I'm looking for.
Right. Well, so I think we could table our Kiwi Kwan talk for right now, because we're on this show going to do a movie of the week that we go into. And I think next week we're talking that it might be Everything Everywhere All at Once, might be our spotlight movie. So we'll talk about him more then. Going to throw out a couple of more things from the Gotham Awards. Adam Sandler, he gave a great speech at the Gotham Awards. Hilarious. He was self-deprecating, making fun of his own movies, making fun of Rob Schneider, which everyone loves. Huge laughs. This is a guy who I think is fully won over the critics, the literati, the hoity-toities. Everyone loves the Sandman now since Uncut Gems. He had a movie for Netflix, Hustle, where he played an inspirational basketball coach. I'm sure it got 50 bazillion views on Netflix because it's an Adam Sandler movie, but there wasn't a ton of Oscar buzz when that movie debuted. It got good reviews, but nothing like Uncut Gems. But I got to say, Adam Sandler, and this, we're just talking about this in terms of a nomination, not to bet on this, but I do think when you look at the Oscar noms, there is a fifth slot to me that is still available for these nominations. And I'm starting to feel like Adam Sandler, because of this speech, because everyone loves him, he could be a player for that wild card fifth slot, battling with Tom Cruise and a few other people who are battling for that fifth slot. Just throwing it out there. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Does Adam Sandler have any shot of being nominated for an Academy Award?
I mean, I wouldn't say he has no shot. I mean, I watched that speech. Obviously, it was hilarious. It's really funny. I'm not going to grade it because he didn't win an award. It was a special sort of performer. What did he win? He won something for like a tribute to him as a performer. So I'm not going to grade that speech.
He won a Please Show Up as a Huge Celebrity to Our Award Show award.
Yeah, it was a performer tribute.
So, guys, I'm sorry. It's great that we have someone who was in like a semi-serious movie who we can trot out to different award show stages and get the free laughs, and we don't have to pay him, and we can kind of tease him that maybe if he does this, he'll get a nomination. But this is a man who has done Oscar movies in the past, movies that we loved by directors we cannot stop throwing nominations at. He has not gotten a nomination. If he didn't get one for Punch Drunk Love, if he didn't get one for that weird 9/11 movie, he's not getting one for fucking Hustle, a contractual obligation from the streamer that made too many fucking movies.
Okay,
it's not happening.
Nick, here's where your argument doesn't hold water.
That's impossible.
Is that Punch Drunk Love was made at a time where he was still the goofy guy running around screaming and felt like a goof. Now, the people who are in power, the people that are in the Academy, grew up with this guy. They like this guy. Things have changed. He is now looked at more seriously. And I don't think necessarily he's going to get a nom for Hustle. But he will get one at some point. Because
I didn't say anything about not getting one at some point. I said this silly fucking movie 5 out of a 6 contract.
It's not a silly movie. Have you watched it, Nick?
I watched it the first fucking day. Big Adam Sandler fan. No one's rooting for him harder than me.
Okay, but you think that movie's silly?
I think it was fine. It's a by the numbers sports movie, and we got Adam Sandler. We got a guy who looks way too old to be playing that part of the basketball player.
Very tall, though.
We just have a normal fucking sports movie. There's nothing exciting about it. He's not asked anything. There's nothing is asked of him in terms of like acting.
But that's the Robin Williams. That's the Robin Williams thing. That's how Robin Williams got noms.
Robin Williams beat our man Burt Reynolds by one of his Beard movies where he cried on camera. And that's not what Adam Sandler's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't face off with the young actor of our day, go toe to toe and have a fucking weep off. That's what you got to do if you're going to be silly and then try to win an Oscar.
That is what Robin Williams did. He did take it all the way to Matt Damon and win a weep off. That is true.
Best actor is weak. Best actor is a weak category, and I'm not saying that Sandler is going to get a nomination, but I wouldn't say there's a 0% chance. I would say that there is a chance he gets a nom here.
So we're talking Best Actor, and when we're talking awards news, here's a piece of news I think we got to go over regarding Best Actor. The Whale opens up this weekend. As you're listening to this, The Whale is finally being released in theaters around the country on Friday, December 9th. This is, speaking of comebacks, Brendan Fraser's big comeback. You know, he was George of the Jungle. He was Dudley Do-Right. He was the guy who fought the mummy. Giant star in the 90s. Went away for a long time. Came back looking a little different. And now he's starring in Darren Aronofsky's The Whale. This movie has been talked about as the front runner to win Best Actor for months now. Basically, since people knew it existed. Brendan Fraser was talked about as the unbeatable front runner for Best Actor. And now I think the big twist in that story is The Whale's actually coming out. People are actually seeing it this weekend. And guys, I'm going to throw out there, I think that is a problem for Brendan Fraser. I think
Yes.
that people seeing The Whale is going to be the one thing that stops the momentum of The Whale, because The Whale was doing perfectly well when no one had seen this fucking movie. And now that people are going to see it, I do not know if Brendan Fraser is going to be the front runner anymore. Have either of you guys watched the trailer? Nick, what is your situation with The Whale?
I haven't watched it. I know it takes
Okay.
place in one room. I assume it's like that Ryan Reynolds movie where he's buried alive and he just has his cell phone and calls people.
Yep, casket.
I assume you're going to look at it and you're like, is this a live production that they just filmed? Is there an audience on the other side of the camera? Because they spent $18 making it, and this guy is not fat enough to be playing this role. And you got Guy Branum mad, you got all the fat actors mad, and I may not be an actor you've heard of, but I got a SAG card, and I've been in Oscar eligible roles.
Okay,
as we all know from last year's #1 or 2 years ago's #1 movie of the summer. Anyway,
right, Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark, starring Nick Turner. Yes.
#1 comedy.
I think that your anger and your backlash you think is coming is because of he's just too much of a favorite. But I think that I think once we see it, we're going to be enamored by his performance, whether or not we're enamored by the movie. But quick, we gotta quick going because we got a lot of show to get to.
Sure. What do you want to get to next, Nick?
Well, we have here Avatar 2 is getting critic screenings, no reviews yet. So anyway, that's something I think we all plan on seeing pretty early.
Yeah.
Well, that's been called dazzling and a technical marvel. I've also seen people say never doubt James Cameron.
Why would you?
I mean, people still do. People have done it forever, even though all he does is make spectacular hits.
Doubt Cameron Crowe. Don't doubt James Cameron.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a great T-shirt if we ever start making merch, because all these podcasts, don't they just make shirts of things that people say on their podcasts?
Yeah, they have more listeners, but yeah.
Do? But so anyway, I think that is definitely going to be, I mean, it's so funny to call Avatar 2 a dark horse when it was for a while, before, his ex-wife's movie beat it, The Hurt Locker. Avatar was looking like it was going to stomp its way to Best Picture, right? So this movie's going to just clean up technical wise, I'm sure. And it has a strong shot at Best Picture as well. So like this movie is coming on strong, I think, at a good time. Like this movie is going to really blow some people away, I believe.
All right, watch out for that. We've also got the New York Films Critics winners available on our website. I don't know, that's something people say. I don't know where it'll be, but go check it out. It's not like a total the ballots are only 5 people each. In terms of like the supporting actor category won by Ke-Huy Quan. He one of the 5 people voting was Simon Rex. So take with that what you will.
Simon Rex, he should have gotten a nom for Red Rocket
we disagree
last year.
on that.
Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous.
All right, we gotta pay some bills real quick.
Okay.
Ready to win money and boost your odds? WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. We're bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting and casino play. Exclusive rewards are right at your fingers with Wynn Rewards on WynnBET. Looking to get involved in a same-game parlay hot shot? WynnBET is your home. With their WynnBET, build your own bet, letting you customize the bet you want to make. Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WynnBET. WynnBET has what you need to win. Ready to play? You ready to play, guys?
Yeah, I'm ready to play.
Oh, good. Sign up today and receive a special offer. Bet 100 bones, win 100 bones. My dog will love that. There's so much to choose from. All you got to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET so they know we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. All right.
Can I just say something really quick about the New York Critics Awards, Circles Award, or whatever it's called?
Of course.
New York Critics. Best Director, went to the gentleman who directed RRR, which was a huge hit. It's SS Rajamouli, is how I'm going to say the name, and I hope that's correct. This guy is a dark horse candidate for Best Director.
Do you know what his odds are?
They're probably pretty low. I haven't looked.
What do we
Because
say?
I don't think
Are odds
Best
low or
Director-
odds high if it's if you can win a lot of money on a little?
Well, for us, it's good that people don't think he has a chance. Listen, I'm not saying that he has a chance. I'm just saying that if he shows up on an Oscar ballot, don't be surprised.
He's definitely someone who has a chance for a nom right now, because there is always a slot in there at this point for a foreign director who you weren't expecting. So he could be that foreign director this year.
What is this man's name?
SS Rajamouli? Rajamouli?
SS Rajamouli is not available on Bovada. Oops.
Do you mean Shmomama?
And also not on the on the other site that currently has Oscar odds. He is not on that.
Yeah,
but again,
it's the last
odds...
half of Wilford Brimley pronouncing diabetes.
Oh, there you go. But again, these odds makers, they do not know. They're not going to see all the movies. They're watching all the football games. So you can't ask them to know what movies are going to be nominated.
Well,
so yeah, nothing.
That's going to be tough. Because that's not a movie that Americans respect as a movie, because it did not come out in theaters here.
It did come out in theaters here.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it out on Netflix immediately?
Not immediately, but it did. It did definitely play in theaters.
Yeah, it made a little bit of cash. It's a possibility because
it's so fucking fun.
I have not watched it. It's
just like scene by scene, like it as a whole movie. It's way too long. It's crazy. Have you seen it, Clayton?
I haven't watched it, but everybody I know
it rocks.
Who's seen it says it's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a series of great scenes that last for a really long time. It's not like a complete whole movie, but I would reward that director even if the whole movie is not that coherent.
So there you go.
Not coherent, it just doesn't connect. What?
There could be Academy Award voters who were having that exact same thought, is that these were a lot of good scenes. Guys, you know, it's a movie that was a collection of really good scenes that really rocked, that I had a great time at, that I think the director of this film should be in consideration for the Academy Awards.
Yes.
Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. Our movie of the week that we were going to discuss at length. What a great movie. So, Nick, I forget, you love this movie like I do, right?
If you have not seen Elvis, it is available on HBO Max. Check it out. I watched this with my wife and her cousin, and we all agreed it was terrible. They stopped watching about an hour in.
Wow.
And then I watched the rest of it later. I am not a Baz Luhrmann fan. I think he's made one great movie, which is, of course,
Australia.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yep. Romeo and Juliet, which I saw at the right time, you know?
Right.
I actually had a free ticket to see that movie in the theater, opening, or before it opened, from the radio. And I had to skip my ring ceremony in high school to go watch this movie.
How were you like the 100th caller? How did you get that?
Buddy, I won so many radio contests in high school.
Okay.
I won tickets to the HF Festival, big festival, the Tibetan Freedom Concert. Got free fish tickets.
It's a great one.
I got free tickets to Alanis Morissette.
Wow, that's huge.
I had the spelling contest on the radio. I won on the word supposed.
Oh, I don't think I'd get that ticket today.
Infatuation. Well, I nailed it. And anyway, I hate to say so much about my personal life.
That's one thing is I will say that is I love podcasts. That is one thing that we have lost now that podcasts have taken over radio is winning free tickets to concerts with call-in answers.
Mhm.
Podcasts have not been able to replicate that. And I think our society suffers a little bit because of that, the lack of radio call-in contests.
I'm actually doing a documentary TV show tomorrow. I'm being interviewed about when I won the car on The Price is Right. I win. I fucking win.
You win. And you know who else won in life? Elvis Presley. And God, this movie, they really, to me, they got the king. They got the essence of the king. They showed what a great entertaining figure he was. Center of the civil rights movement, apparently. I mean, he is just a pop culture icon, and this movie nailed it. Clayton, you saw this film, right? Did you see this in theaters?
I saw it in theaters. Absolutely, I did.
So, Nick, did you see it in theaters or did you watch it at home with your wife and your cousin?
At home, like every other movie, because I have a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Not the optimal experience.
Really. I heard tale about the famous tweet that one of the people at the early screenings said that their screening went fucking wild for this Elvis movie, and it was like they'd never seen anything like it at a screening, and it was one screening, and it's unverified, and I don't know what about taking fun songs and putting them through a blender mixed with just dirt is fun. Well, since my and then just a guy crying. That's not what I want. That's not the fun movie I want.
And then Baz Luhrmann, he shows you that on a TV, and then within that TV you zoom in to Elvis on a couch, and Elvis is watching the TV, and there's five different angles of that same expression he's making.
You see Elvis shoot each angle through his TVs.
Yes, I mean, he gives you. Listen, it seems like I'm being hyperbolic by saying how much I like this movie, but I saw it in a theater, and I do think this is one of those movies that the power of the theater and the power of the crowd really makes a difference. I do think if you and your wife and your cousin and your baby were in the middle of a packed crowd, you'd have a totally different opinion of this film.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, we're the BO Boys, me and Pat. I mean, we haven't mentioned we have our other podcast, the BO Boys podcast, where we talk about box office. And the proof here is in the pudding, Nick, for whether people like this movie. Because this movie made $151 million domestically.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big hit, especially for an adult skewing film.
No superheroes.
No superheroes.
It's not horror.
No, it's not a kid's movie.
Yeah, it's only called the biggest entertainer of all time's name.
It is, but he's been
not like
that
came out of nowhere. Fucking the biggest movie star in the history of movies is the star of it.
That was not assured at the time.
Tom Hanks's performance ruins whatever good thing it had.
I mean, are we talking here about quality, or are we talking about Oscar chances? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Oscar chances, and it doesn't have it because it has one of the worst performances of the year.
Did you see? Okay.
So Tom Hanks is who you said.
Okay, Tom Hanks. But that does. I don't think he has a chance of getting nominated. I don't think his performance doesn't impact this film's chances in any way.
I am gonna say something that people think might be crazy here. I think Tom Hanks has a chance of a double Oscar nomination this year, because I think I've been hearing things about his film A Man Called Otto, which comes out on Christmas. I've been hearing some early buzz.
There's no chance on that.
I do think there is a chance we are going to see the great Tom Hanks get nominated for Best Actor for A Man Called Otto and Best Supporting Actor for playing the Colonel, running around saying, put on the Santa Claus sweater, put on the Santa Claus sweater. Supporting actor for Elvis, Tom
Pat,
Hanks, double nom.
No,
Pat, come
now
on,
you're just
man.
being silly.
What are
Now
we
you're being
doing?
silly. I'm on.
I'm
don't-
saying there's a possibility.
You
You're
people
putting
aren't
me
going to
on-
listen to this podcast if
yeah,
you say that.
You're putting me on Nick's side, which on Elvis, and I don't want to be there. But I mean, this is by saying that he has a chance for a Best Actor for The Man Named Otto. That's ridiculous. That
All right.
movie is a trifle. It's not going to do.
It is not out
anything
yet. Neither of us have
critically.
seen it.
It's a trifle, and I know it. So, Pat,
Back to Elvis, then.
Let's get back to Elvis. 2 words: Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's,
I mean,
yep.
do you think that Bohemian Rhapsody, Nick, was a
Mhm.
better film? Because you care about quality when it comes to Oscars.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Bohemian Rhapsody is a better film than Elvis?
Yes.
Do you think Rami Malek did a better performance than Austin Butler?
I'm not saying anything against Austin Butler's performance. I think Austin Butler's performance is great, considering you had to get someone who looks like him.
Mhm.
I can't imagine getting someone who looks more like him that would do better than that.
So
I don't think it's an
there we
iconic
go.
performance.
That's enough, though. That's enough. That's
Right.
enough. I think Austin Butler has a very good chance. Now,
So pretty.
is Elvis
So
gonna,
pretty.
Is Elvis going to win Best Picture? Of course not. Will it get nominated? Of course it will.
Well, it's 10 movies.
Does Austin Butler have a very good chance of pulling a Rami Malek? Oh, yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, that's a good point. Except he wasn't abused by his director. Or no, I
Well,
guess ignored by his director.
Yeah, that's
That hasn't come out yet, but I am sure Austin Butler is studying the Rami Malek Oscar campaign, and he's going to get to that part where Rami Malek went to the press and talked about how he saved the movie from Bryan Singer. And who knows, maybe Austin Butler will come up with something similar that he could talk about in his Oscar campaign. We're at the early stages here. Austin Butler is just getting started. But I mean, that's the guy, that's the big thing to pull out of Elvis, is that I do think, and I think we're all getting on the same page, Austin Butler is actually the favorite for Best Actor. I mean, do any of us feel like Brendan Fraser for The Whale is still the actual, if we had a bet today, all the odds are even. You could pick anyone you want. We're not talking underdog or long shots. Nick,
if everyone had to vote for
yeah.
Best Actor before they saw the movie,
yeah.
then yeah.
Oh, because you think The Whale's gonna. I mean, the thing is, I think you think Brendan Fraser is going to be good in The Whale. That's the big difference
of course he
here.
is.
Pat, I think this is a bad question only because what we've been saying is that the worst possible thing for The Whale is people seeing it.
Right.
If this lived in a sort of Schrodinger's cat sort of box where it was neither seen or not seen, it's still the favorite, right? It's still a favorite. I think Brendan Fraser is the Kristen Stewart of this year in the sense that she was the favorite until people saw Spencer. And once they saw Spencer, they said, nah, number 5. Fraser will be number 5 by the end of this because the only good thing people are saying about this film is his performance. Nothing else.
Right. Whereas overall with Elvis, people are loving that movie. It's getting, that tweet might not be verified, but I've been in an audience that gave this movie cheers and applause at the end. So it's true. People are loving Elvis out there, and I think that's gonna matter. I think that excitement from the live experience is gonna matter with something like Elvis. So, Nick, I know we all play some bets earlier this week on the available sites. Was Austin Butler someone that you did bet on? Because I could say right here, that was my first bet. As soon as I had a chance to place some money down on the table this week, I put it on Austin Butler for Best Actor. Got great odds. Unfortunately, right now is a low ceiling of how much you're allowed to bet. Because if there was no
Yeah.
ceiling, I would have put a lot of money on Austin Butler. I put as much as I was allowed to on unnamed website.
Pat, do you remember what the odds were when you put your money down?
I will bring it up right now. Nick is going to talk though about his thoughts here on betting on Austin Butler.
If
And-
he unmutes himself.
You gotta. There you go.
I'm sorry. Okay, this is a problem that has solutions
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
in terms of, yes, there's a low max bet on every one of these bets on every one of these websites.
Mm-hmm.
And generally it's like right now they're like $10-15 max bets.
Yeah.
But even in that, you have the ability to win hundreds of dollars off of these small bets.
Mm-hmm.
One possibility is, and it's something that I've done personally,
Okay.
you get your wife to sign up, you take her account, you put your credit card in there, whatever.
Yep.
You have double on each site.
Mm-hmm.
Wing, bam, boom. You have a sibling, a cousin, a good friend in another state.
What about a baby?
Unfortunately, I think even the offshore gambling sites require you to be of legal age.
Okay.
Yeah. The offshore doesn't mean illegal. Offshore means that they are operating under the laws of a different country.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a lawless, it's not the dark web.
Right.
It's just a Costa Rican company.
Right.
Or whatever.
But it's not as reputable as the best gaming site there is, gambling site, WinBet.
Well, yes, the U.S. has much better regulations than non-U.S. websites. That is accurate. And I think that you don't have to worry ever if you put your money in those.
Right.
But
We're definitely not a WinBet. You have no worries if you're gambling on WinBet.
We don't need to suck their dick. I mean, WinBet's great. We talked about it.
I love them. I just
you
love
them.
I love them.
What state
do you live in?
You don't have to suck the
New
dick
York.
of everybody you love.
I do.
Sometimes you can have non-sexual love for somebody. Jeez.
Right. And then those people you love can let you gamble in their name on these websites so that you could place multiple bets on Austin Butler. I was able to place a $25 bet on Austin Butler for Best Actor. He's plus 450. So if that $25 bet comes up in March, I will win $112 off of that $25 bet.
Oh shit. Yeah, I have $20 on Bill Nighy to win Best Actor, and if he wins, I will win $400.
Wow.
And Bill Nighy right now, if this is how we do this. There's no other way to try and speculate. We put certain actors and certain movies in certain roles of actors in movies past. And Bill Nighy is 100% Anthony Hopkins in The Father this year.
Okay.
And so that's how I'm looking at it. And that's why I put my early money there. I've spread my early money around. I've actually bet over $100 so far because I had some lucky wins. And I got to make some bigger bets.
Wow. So
I have Best Picture money on 4 different movies already.
Oh, can you name them?
Yes, you can name them.
Let's see.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Of course. 3 more.
The Fablemans.
I did not put any money on frontrunners.
Right. Tar.
Tar, yes.
Top Gun Maverick.
No. Banshees. And one more.
Let's see. So
not
the Hot
Runner.
Plus 800. It is, it's a top 5 on both of the websites that are currently. I basically bet on the 2 through 5.
Interesting.
It's Babylon. I don't really
Babylon.
Ooh,
Okay. I mean, you know what? It's worth it because those odds are so good.
I couldn't believe how low the odds are on Banshees already. It's like plus 300 for best movie. It's coming. Banshees is coming. Colin Farrell, Banshees, Martin McDonough. I think those are gonna be names.
Oh,
Oh,
certainly
for
over
sure.
They're
Babylon.
all
I mean,
getting nominated. at
For
least.
sure. For
Yes.
sure. I listen, again, I'm maybe lower on Frasier than definitely Nick is. I think as we get closer to the Oscars, Colin Farrell is going to be the one running second to Austin Butler. I think Colin
Mhm.
Farrell for Best Actor is for real. Definitely. I think Banshees is for real. I think
Yeah.
Martin McDonough for screenplay is for real. And I think Banshees will end up being coming again when we get close to Oscar night. That'll be one of 3 or 4 movies that has a legit
Yeah.
shot to win.
So depending on how much room you guys got left, I think throw because these are just the big categories at the moment. Throw
Yeah.
all your possible maxes at all the Banshee categories, all the Everything Everywhere All at Once categories. Those 2 are just your best odds right now in terms of movies that we think are going to be cool this whole time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's the thing right now. You don't bet any money on the Fablemans because what's the point?
Mhm.
The odds on that movie, it's too heavy of a favorite. You
Okay,
can't make anything
let's
on
go
it.
around the horn. Give me one bet you're going to make this week.
All right. I am going to make a bet tying into the movie that we're going to talk about next week, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm going to bet on Michelle Yeoh for Best Actress.
I've got money there. That's a plus 400. Clayton.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this, I think privately, or at least to you guys. I'm putting everything on everywhere, all at once. I mean,
Yeah, that's a
is the movie to
$15
go.
cap though on
Yeah.
one of the sites and a $25 cap on the other.
But I mean, her,
Yeah.
the
I see,
movie
I see.
itself.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
Daniels.
yeah, whatever category. I mean, when I'm able to bet on Jamie Lee Curtis, I will. Like, I just am all in on that movie.
Yeah.
At least at this stage, I think it's just smart money.
Yeah, and I was waiting on some bets because the odds are different on websites and you feel silly betting on a worse odds on a different website for the same thing, but what we're doing is we're maxing out everything. It doesn't matter that Everything Everywhere All at Once is 650 on one and 500 on the other. You got to max them both out. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
you got to get your wife signed up for both.
Yeah.
You got to get your cousin signed up for both.
Yep. And while Bill Nye is plus 2,000, please, dear God, max it out.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Now, what's the age? Do you have to be 21? Can you get some foster kids in on this? Is that possible? Just foster some kids?
You can't, and so you can't just sign up. They are very strict. They are very strict.
Okay.
You, as Pat and I found out today, trying to get a referral involved both of us contacting one of these sites and giving our information. For one of the sites last week, I had to have Lyra send them a picture of her holding her ID 3 different times. These people are not fucking around. It's not a joke. It's not some scam. The scam comes when you try to contact them for a problem and then they gaslight you. But the money is not the scam.
Right. They're not trying to steal your credit card. They're just trying to avoid you at certain times.
Okay, guys, that is our show today. On behalf of the Hat, on behalf of Speech is King, on behalf of the Father, guys, our next movie next week, we're going to be doing a deep dive on Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is available on the Showtime app, which is also available as an add-on on Hulu, on Paramount Plus. It's not hard to find. So watch that movie and then we'll talk about it next week. We also, our Patreon is up. I'm gonna have to rejigger it a little bit because it's the Get Rich Nick Patreon. But if you're still a part of it, thank God. And if you aren't a part of it anymore because I haven't done a show in 6 months, now's the time to join. We got videos, we got early eps, we've got extra information, we've got all of our bets detailed on here. This information you're only going to be able to find there. There's also join us on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network Discord. I'm told they made a special category just for us, entertainment betting.
Sweet.
and we can talk over there about everything you guys are predicting, any questions you have. And yeah, and then we'll figure out where to put the spreadsheet. We'll post it on the Discord. We'll post it on the Patreon. Maybe it'll go on the website, Sports Gam. I don't know. We'll figure it out. The show's live in 2 days. We're very excited. Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
I think we should just hide the spreadsheet around the internet and make a little game of it. You know, like let people find it. Yeah. Like let
so
it'll
can't
be
say what websites they can bet on. They got to go to the spreadsheet, but also we can't show them the spreadsheet.
Yes, people love that kind of stuff. They love Easter eggs. They love Easter egg hunts. I think this is going to be huge for our show as we just hide the spreadsheet across the internet and let the listeners find it.
Clayton, last word.
Thanks, WinBet.
Wow,
Love you.
there we go. Sucking their dicks.
I
This
just
is so
said I
much
love
fun.
them. Nothing about sucking a dick.
This
I
is
just
so
said I
much.
love
No,
them.
that's my thing. I can't separate it. And this is the vibe. This is our network. Okay, guys, we're embracing it. We're guys. We're into sports, as long as those sports are pre-recorded and edited and
And our
played by our
movies.
favorite actors and our only movies and aren't sports.
Yeah,
guys, we'll see you next week.